post-transit time method, PTT. So what does this mean? What does PTT mean here? So it's essentially measuring the time it takes for a pulse to travel from the heart. The heart is where a pulse is generated. It measures the time for a pulse to travel from the heart to a finger or a toe. So that's the pulse transit time, PTT. But why does this work? So let's think about this. So with the high blood pressure, does the blood flow fast or slow? High blood pressure means fast. So that means PTT is pulse transition time is lower, right? So that's kind of the intuition here. So how can we detect PTT? So that means we need two sensors, one at the heart, one at a finger or a toe. So first, let's begin with the easy one. So how can we detect a pulse at a finger or a toe? How can we do that? We just talked about that.
Pulse oximetry.
Oh
wait, no, sorry, PPG.
Yeah, PPG, yeah. So we can put a PPG device on a finger. So we look at the waveform, we'll be able to detect the pulse. The more difficult part is to detect when a pulse is generated. So that is typically done by something called SCG, which is essentially mechanoacoustic sensing. So using an MA sensor, you will be able to detect oscillations associated with your aorta opening. So the aorta is the major artery connected to your heart. So by looking at the time between your aorta opening and the foot of your PPG, you'll be able to get PTT. So that's how you get PTT. But in earlier times, so MA is not so widely used. So people like to use ECG. So in ECG, the most important feature is the R peak. We will talk about R peak later. So they like to use ECG and they like to use R peak. So R peak means your heart is electrically activated, but it takes a while for your heart to respond mechanically. That means there's a period between R peak and the aorta opening. So that's called PEP, pre-ejection period. So in the old days, people use R peak and PPG. So that gives you pulse arrival time, PAT. So PAT is essentially PEP plus PTT. So it's PAT is based on ECG and PPG, so it's not as accurate as PTT. So these are the equations here. We don't have to necessarily go into the